Good morning. I want to thank Woodbury University and the School of Business for having me on today to talk about embracing change. My name's Shawn Morey. I'm an alumni of the School of Business, the last business finance class. I also have my master's in real estate development. So I've been an entrepreneur for years in the real estate industry, fitness industry, nightlife industry. And I'm sure a lot of the other entrepreneurs and board members are talking today about what changes happened in 2020 and how to embrace those changes of COVID, the pandemic, and what it did for business. For me, obviously, real estate was a huge change, eviction moratoriums, different things that happened there, and helping our tenants out so that they could pay rent and that we could keep them happy. One of the biggest things that happened was NutriShop, our sports nutrition and supplement brands. We're franchises all across the nation. We have a few here in LA. We noticed that everybody had a need for these essential supplements, vitamins, protein powders. At the time when the pandemic hit, there was a huge rush of grocery stores closing down. The import export was closing down. The ports weren't able to get stuff in. There was a huge mad rush. I know people talk about the toilet paper, things that happened at that time. And one of them was just people couldn't get the nutrients at the grocery store that they needed. So we saw this as a huge opportunity. We supply people with our super greens powders, our protein powders, our liquid egg whites. We went right away, and there was out of 160 something stores, a lot of the owners freaked out, closed down, shut down. What I decided to do in my locations was figure out how we could help people. This was a huge opportunity for us, turn those lemons into lemonade. People were freaking out. People were looking at their nutrition. Their health was a scare. The pandemic was all about health, nutrition, and how we took care of ourselves. So looking at, okay, now we're an essential business. We have the same permits. We have the same food licenses as a grocery store or a supermarket. So we need to stay open. We had our attorneys draft letters. We figured out how to become that essential business, and we stayed open. So when people couldn't get their eggs at the supermarkets, we helped them with liquid egg whites, pasteurized egg whites, protein powders, nutrients for their families. During this pandemic, we saw sales grow 10% month over month. We were open. We were taking proper precautions, wearing masks. One of the things we increased also was our online presence. So we used to ship items to homes, we would deliver, but what we included on our website was you could order on our website, and we had curbside delivery now. You would come, let us know at the store when you were there. We would come, you would open up your trunk, and we would put your order into your trunk. So this took away a lot of the human interaction, the risk factors of the pandemic. Other things that we did was we helped people during the pandemic. A lot of people were working from home. You know, the food crazes, people were making sourdough breads. A lot of people were just ordering pizza, drinking beer on the couch. It was a, Tuesday afternoon, and people would start having that drink like it was Friday. A lot of people weren't worried about their health, and a lot of people's mental health went in a different direction. So we were helping people make sure you're getting out, getting the exercise, getting the sunlight, of course, taking the proper precautions. But during that time, you also saw a huge rise in people buying the Peloton bikes, doing outdoor runs, doing yoga at home, doing their own workouts. So people went one of two ways. They got very out of shape and unhealthy during the pandemic, or they doubled down on their self-care, their wellness, their nutrition routines, and really got in better shape during the pandemic. Once we came out of that pandemic, restrictions loosened, we saw a lot of people coming in that let themselves go or weren't the most healthy during the pandemic, starting to come back in the store. They needed help. They needed the meal planning. They needed a coach to work one-on-one with them. They also needed the supplements, vitamins to help them get back on track. So this was amazing because we saw some of those owners that got really scared, that closed down, closed their doors. They weren't able to open back up. And eventually some of those stores opened when our stores climbed at that time. So I just wanted to come on here for a couple minutes, talk about, how we turned that situation. It was a hard time for most businesses. it's a time that most people won't see in their lifetime or their business career. And we went through it. Everybody went through it in different situations. If it was being in school, being in college, and then, working, running a business. So we all had to figure out different ways to live our lives. And luckily, we were there to help people stay healthy, help people get nutritious, supplements, vitamins, that kind of stuff. So in every situation, you can either get scared, close down, run away, and business might suffer, or you can figure out a situation to be safe, be healthy, double down, work longer hours like we did, and really increase those sales. And at the same time, it wasn't just our profit that was doing better, it was our customers were doing better. Our customers were healthy. They were eating more nutritious meals. They were taking care of themselves over what we saw, the general public doing. So my name's Shawn Morey. I'm an alumni of Woodbury University, and I'm on the board of directors. Reach out if you guys ever have any questions or interest in the fields I work in. Thank you, guys.